This is Mrs. Schaefer, and I wanted to share with you some helps for lesson 7.05, the WAVES lab. So you're going to want to click on content once you're in your physical science course. And this will open up to wherever it was that you were last. So you're going to scroll down here on the left. You're going to look for the Chapter 7 material, which is in Unit 4. Click on Unit 4, and then it's in Chapter 7, and you can scroll down, and you'll see here it is, 7.05, Laboratory Waves. When you click on that, it will open up. You can scroll to the top of the page. You'll see the reading for the WAVES lab. You'll see instructions that you can click on this tab right here and download. Download as, you'll get the instructions. Here is the assignment box, and right there is the lab report. You can click on that lab. You'll see the master copy here, and then what you'll do is hit File, Download as a Word document. Click on that. It will download to your computer, and then you can save this for yourselves. And then we're going to go into the investigation. I'm going to go to page 2 to enter the virtual lab. So I have my Word document here. I can click Enable, and then type my name. I'm going to do a File, Save As, and I'm going to save this. Notice how it goes automatically to my Downloads folder. Well, I'm going to save this by adding my last name, and then I'm going to place it actually in my physical science folder. And of course, I have probably more folders than you do in physical science, but that's okay. I'm just going to go in and save it in my information so that I have this for me to use anytime. And I know where it's at because it's in my physical science folder, and that's the one I'm working on. And I'm going to go in and click on the lab. It's going to ask me if I want to leave the course content, and click on this, and I want to hit yes. I'm going to enable my Flash Player, my Adobe Flash Player. And when you do this, you can go through the tutorial. It will give you instructions. In this case, I'm going to hit Begin Lab. I'm going to pick a glove color. And it's going to load up the material. The first questions 1 through 3, because as I'm looking at this lab, I can notice that my first questions I can answer going through my notes. These will be right in the material for lessons 1 through 4 in Chapter 7. I can answer those questions. Then, in order to figure out what my hypothesis is, I have to think about what is occurring in the lab. And I'm going to look at the data that I'm collecting and the information on the questions above to form a hypothesis. So in this case, when I look at the instructions, will help me go through what I would like to do. There's some helps that I want to look at. And in this, one of the things or one of the ways I can word my hypothesis is like what is on this sentence starter. When the length of the string is decreased, the wave speed or frequency will, and I can explain that out. So that means I need to know what wave frequency or speed is, and then I can go in and start charting my data. So when I go into my lab, this is what I'm going to see. I'm going to see an oscilloscope. And I'm going to see one string, and it kind of looks like a guitar handle, but I know that this is just set up to help me test the vibration on this string right there. So I have my oscilloscope, and I'm going to click on this button right here. So it filters out correctly, so I want to have that. So I have my frequency, and I can test this out by just clicking on the string, and I can see the measurement for frequency in hertz. And I can also see that I have a centimeter ruler here. It's going from 0 to 30 centimeters. So I just could collect just from this right here where it's at 30 centimeters, collect the data. What is the frequency? I can record that. And then I can watch what the string did at each plucking of the string. So in this case, I need to collect 7 data points between 30 and let's see how short it will go. Oh, it's not going to go any shorter than 15. So between 30 and 15. So all I'm going to do is pick a location and plug the string, and it will give me some data. I can watch it and play it again, or I can plug it again if I don't get the number. And I'm just going to move these around. I can pick any location and pluck the string. I'm just going to do this until I have 7 data points. and you can pick anywhere. You just want to make sure that you can measure it. So I would go with whole numbers or, at the half mark, just because they're easier to mark for me. And then I can go in and look at the string vibration and what's happening for each one. From there, what I'm going to do is take this data that I've placed in my chart. I'm going to place this data right there in my chart, and then I'm going to go through and graph my information. Remember, if you're not sure how to graph your information, there is a Google document that will help you. You can graph it in a variety of ways. After that, I'm going to go in and answer this question where I'm going to compare my data with the hypothesis. I'm going to decide if it agrees or not. And then also using my data from the data chart, I'm going to go and create a conclusion. So one such example, I'll give you a couple sentence starters that are found in the instructions. Here for you to see. So here's a couple sentence starters that you can use. So you want to make sure that you restate your hypothesis. You can list whether your hypothesis was correct or not. And then using that data, explain what you saw. So you can explain, my data shows that as the string length decreases, the frequency, fill in the blank. And use this information to help you create a good, solid conclusion. And then all you're going to do is save and submit this lab. I hope that helps. Have a great day. And if you have any questions, just email your teacher for more assistance.